Hello and welcome back to part 2 of our EIGRP configurations. This is again part of our networking series. In the previous video of the EIGRP, we had two sites, one on the left, one on the right, and we had a link connecting them. We configured EIGRP so that this network 10.1.1.0 can reach the subnet in the other side, which is 10.3.3.0. So we were accessing services from this machine and go into that. Now we introduced two more sites. On the left, we introduced one connected to the headquarters, and it's a factory, let's say. And on the right hand side, we connected another site, which is a farm. So let's say here we've got a data center, and this is our head office where employees are coming, staff are coming, sitting and working from here. But let's say this is a production company. We have a farm, maybe you produce wheat, maybe corn, whatever you have. Then the sensors, maybe you have sensors in the farm, and those sensors, they provide you data about the farm, humidity, let's say, temperature, a lot of things collected by the sensors in the farm. Now those sensors, when they collect the data, they will send to this router. Router then will send it to a central server. Let's call this one my page is our sensor data collection. And then when you are working from the office, maybe there are staff dedicated to see what's happening in the farm, and they come to this machine, they access a portal, and that portal gives them analyzed data so they can make decisions what's happening in the farm. Maybe some other people are working in the factory, and whatever was harvested from the farm, maybe they are doing manufacturing, or maybe they're producing food from there, packaging, for example. So let's say this is a packaging factory. So this is a company that produces corn or wheat, let's say, and then they do the packaging in another site. And here the staff, they maintain the services in the factory, services in the data center, services in the farm. And we want to see a routing protocol. A company tells you, we need you to help us design our network and implement it. So they have an office and a data center. Now they have the farm and the factory. So please go back to the previous video, see how we configured EIGRP. On this router, we already advertise in this subnet, and we are saying advertise this subnet and that subnet, whatever connected to you. Now we are introducing another subnet, 10.5. So if we have, and we need to add that to the routing protocol here. And on the other side, we do the same. We were doing advertisement of this subnet and this subnet, but now we need to add 10.6.6. Then from this, the farm router, we need to advertise the network that sits behind it. And we do same for the factory. So let's go to this router and add that subnet 10.5. Then this router and add 10.6. Then we come to the other routers. In router 1, we say show IP protocols. And then you see what subnets you are advertising, only 2. But let's say show IP route as well, and then you can see the 10.5 is directly connected, which is here, but we want to advertise it through EIGRP as well, and so other networks can see. So let's say conft router, and don't forget the same name, EIGRP 1, and we advertise the new network, which is 10.5.5.0, and it is 0.0.255, and then we say no outer summary. And I enabled the interfaces. I configured the interfaces already. So this is end, and we save that. Now this router is advertising all the connected subnets. Let's go to this one and advertise the added one. conft router EIGRP 1, and network, the one we added is 10.6.6.0, 0.0.024. We are using /24, a big subnet. Now to summary. And there we are. Then we have this router now advertising all the connected networks, but the factory is not sending us their 10.7. So let's go to this router and check what subnets are we receiving. Show IP route, and 10.6, which is actually from here, was advertised to us by this. So if you go to here, the 10.5 should be seen as well. Show IP route. 10.5 is also being advertised to us by router 1, and the 10.1 which already existed. We need to now see 10.7. We don't see it yet. and we need to see 10.4. This router also does not know anything about that one, about this one, about this one, about that one. So let's start with it and say enable, and I call it factory 1, conft router EIGRP 1, and then we advertise the connected networks 10.4.4.0, which is behind it here, and 0.0.0.255, and then we say no outer summary, and we also advertise the other network, which is 10.5.5.0, which is the one connecting it to let's say 255 there, and say no outer summary, and that's the network. If we now check its routing table, we should receive the EIGRP networks advertised to us by router 1. So let's say show IP protocols. We advertise in 10.5, 10. Okay, so let's say show IP route, and yeah, sure enough, we have 10.1, which is sitting behind R1. We're here, and we only see 10.5 and 10.4, but the 10.1 here, 10.2 there, 10.6 here, 10.3 here, all of them are in our routing table. So by the EIGRP protocol. So you see all of them, but still we're missing the farm. So the factory will not need anything from the farm. Probably, maybe it needs what in our configuration we need to see that network here as well. But this one can see that subnet. Show IP. No, I mean the subnets over here. It can see now. So let's say show IP route. I can see 4. I can see 6, but no 7. So 7 is not been advertised yet. So we go to this router and we do the 6 and the 7. So let's go to conft enable first, and then configuration terminal, and then we go to router EIGRP. It must be the same number, and we advertise the networks that are connected to us, which is here we've got 6 and the 7 behind it. So 10.6.6.0, 0.0.0.255, and then no outer summary, and then we go to another network and we just change 6 to 7, 6, it becomes 7, I mean, and another 7, and then no outer summary. We did that already, and then we save. So if we check that router now, we should be seeing 7. We didn't have 7, but if you run the same command, yeah, sure enough, we have 7 now. And if you put a server there or a sensor, the data that's collected from here should be seen by this router, so it can forward to the server. So let's see. And if you build applications, you build a sensor and then the server that collects it, and of course you just put the IP of the server, and then you see that data is being collected. So let's say show IP route, and sure enough we see that one as well. If you see now someone working from here and they want to see the sensor data that was sent from there to here, if you go to the test page, which is 10.3.3.100, I'm working from here, let's say, came to my desk, I'm working from home. However, I access that service. Now I have work to do, which is to analyze the data that the sensors were sending overnight, maybe from the farm, and then make business decisions what to do with them. So 10.3.3.100. Okay, and sure enough, then maybe I have an application to work on. I click on that application and then start working from there. So you built a farm network, factory network, and a farm network for a company that had an existing office, headquarters, and a data center. And that's it for this video. But please follow the other videos on OSPF and other routing protocols, which I will put in the series. Thank you for your time and hope to see you soon.